Hey everyone, welcome to part 2 of the Clubhouse, and we got a special guest here, the Nick Weiser, and of course Clobbering Times. How's it going, guys?
Hi, Mom.
Sorry, Nick, I don't have an intro for you, but
No, it's okay, man. Honestly, it's good.
and hail to everyone in the chat that's carried over from the Clubhouse. I was gonna go. I'm like, oh, there's no way the guys are still going at the Clubhouse.
Oh, we just wrapped up on TNT on the Rumble side because we do the first 2 to 3 hours, and we had the biggest TNT ever, and it was huge.
Awesome.
We had like over 400. It was nuts. So
nice.
Yeah,
Rumble's
it was wild.
doing pretty well these days, isn't it? I mean,
Rumble's doing well. The YouTube side, yeah, we had over 400, and a lot of them carried over to Rumble. It was great. It was. And everyone, it got very passionate talking about the flush. It got very heated.
Really? Well, that's good.
It got so heated that it was like a competition of who could hate it more. That's how it got heated. We were like practically screaming at each other.
Really? Why?
Oh, because it wasn't that bad. No, it was that bad. Oh, it was bad, but not this bad. Oh no, it was that bad.
Well, Mark thought it was okay, but we're not going to scream at him, are we?
No,
you'd never scream at me on my channel. No. I gave it a C. I
didn't even say. Hey, I didn't even scream on you at my channel.
Yeah, no, you're nice.
At yours, maybe I would, of course. Just kidding.
Well, for a birthday movie, it was much better than Green Lantern, thankfully. So, even though my birthday is tomorrow, but let's say hi to everyone in the chat. So, I want to say hi to Brian Hepburn, and thank you for being a Patreon, Brian. And of course, Hungry Boys here, hungry for kinder days. That would be great if we had kinder days. Lemon Pie is here, and who else is Eric is here? Awesome. Yep. Awesome. So, yeah, I mean, let me get my. Here, this is why I really like what I did like about the movie. You know, get it there. I thought there were some good things in it. So here we got the I'm Batman. You know, so you got Michael Keaton again. So I did like his scenes in the movie, and I didn't like the. And we're gonna spoil away here, so let me put the spoiler up. Let me get my bat.
I gotta get my bat.
I gotta get my bat computer.
Too. Put it in the caption.
Yeah, let me put in the caption too. Let me get it. Because no one cares if we spoil this. I guess at this point.
This has been the most spoiled movie ever.
Yeah. Nobody gives a crap.
So I hated. You know, it's about an hour in that you get to see Michael Keaton as Batman again, and I hate that. And I mentioned on the Clubhouse, I hate that introduction where the guy's got to have a beard and long hair and look kind of like
sick of that shit. Yeah,
bedraggled Nick Cage. Like, you can't ever have a hero that. And he actually claims that his war on crime worked. He said Gotham is much safer, which I don't mind having it safer. Saying that
By the way, they didn't say it was because of guns, did they?
No, they didn't. No,
I was told by a certain friend that they were going to blame. They were going to credit Gotham's new utopian safety on the fact that they took guns away.
Yeah, that either they took that out or they changed that. But yeah, there was no mention of the guns in this movie.
Really stupid.
Oh, thank you, Eric. Yeah. So, Brian says someone needs to get Mark the Green Lantern extended cut. Yeah. Well, I think that's been erased from existence, right? Didn't Deadpool go back and take them all out? Yeah.
He probably hasn't.
That's true. Yeah, Green. Than watching the internals. Yep. And thank you so much, Eric K, for that. It says, great Urza movie. If only did not have Urza. Yeah, he's totally. I always want to give the actors benefit of the doubt. I'm not going to talk. Aside from, it's hard to put aside all his other problems, and you're seeing him, attack a fan in a grocery store, and but usually I blame it's the writers or the directors that act like this, and we're all comic book nerds here, and that's not Barry Allen. No, I'm not going to blame that directly on Ezra Miller, but just the way it's written, he's probably doing what the director and the writers have. But Barry Allen is a great forensic scientist. He's not some goofball, not serious person, even though he's portraying a younger version of himself. It's not good. Not good to have that portrayal. And could not be reached for further comment. Hail, one and all. Thank you for being here. Yep. Spoilers, yes, we're doing I mean, maybe I could do, if you don't want spoilers, I could do a few minutes of non-spoilery. But although we have kind of spoiled it a little, but so he's saying, yeah, Miller was the worst possible casting for Barry. Terrible. So Nick, what would you give it out of 10? What I mean,
I probably get like a 2.5.
Okay, so you really didn't like it, yep.
Lower than me.
It's the thing is that Ezra Miller, even if he was a nice guy, and he's just say he was my friend down the street who I got along with, he's not Barry Allen. He's not Barry Allen at all. No, he's been under different writers, and there's one constant thing: you don't see here as Barry Allen. Like I can't take him to be Barry Allen. It's just not a character that is made for him to play. He probably might have an arrow out there that might be meant for him to play. It's not the Flash Barry Allen. Not even close. Yeah, there's some scenes, like some of the dramatic scenes, that could have worked if there's an actor who looked and acted like Barry Allen. But because it's Ezra Miller, it doesn't work. I'd even argue that the actress who was Nora Allen wasn't all that great. Like I said, scenes like that were not bad, some of the drama scenes, but those actors did not fit for those type of scenes at all. It did not fit it. And on top of the whole, like, we all got into about what happened with Barry, with the Nora Allen murder, and there's a lot of debate about that in TNT, whether it was actually Barry, if it was off-screen Reverse Flash, because they never,
Barry.
Even if it was or was not, they didn't even explain it. That's the worst part about it. They gloss over it. Like, I'm not even wild about the story. I've made one of my arguments before that I could have been more behind the story if it was like something the Reverse Flash cause, because that's something Eobard Thawne would do. It would be more excited for
and did do.
Yeah, right? I'd be more for it, because it's like, oh crud. Then that's something you could see a villain doing that just to spite the hero, to say, I'm going to change all time and make him have a big mess to clean up. And Barry has to clean up my mess. That actually sounds better. And instead we have Barry cause this, and Barry has to fix this. And I see what's going on with Bruce. Bruce is telling him, like, that's a very irresponsible thing to do. And he goes and does it. And boy, the problems that it causes it's not Barry. It's not the Flash. And on top of it, it feels like the third movie of a trilogy that we never got. That's another thing. Just remember this. So somewhere out there, someone's favorite comic book character is the Flash. And now he has to live with his life and legacy knowing that the first Flash movie was essentially a Batman movie, where with Ezra Miller attached to it. Like, I love Barry Allen, and I see in that, for me, like, he's one of my favorite DC characters. It stings.
Well,
and I hate
we have a special guest there.
Ooh, Six
is here. Hi.
Hi.
Six.
Hello. Good
Thanks
evening.
For popping in.
Thank you for the invitation.
Yeah.
Yep. So Keaton says hello.
Oh.
My mom got me this for my birthday in 1989 or 90 or whatever.
What? That's cool.
It was a standee, so she snagged it from the the video store or whatever. So
like
I've
she
had this
pointed and took it.
Yeah,
and
she said,
ran.
"Can I have this? Can I have this?" Yeah, or whatever for my son.
That's
Like
cool.
that's like sure, yeah. So his ear got a little damaged, but of course, when they cut the ears off the bat suit tonight, I wasn't too happy
God.
about that. But
Oh, yeah.
but Grant Gustin here. If you want to watch a Flashpoint storyline, here's
With
Grant,
his
right?
maroon suit. That's not
Maroon
even red,
suit,
it's
but
maroon.
yeah, it's maroon. But they at least they did a red suit later and later in
Yes,
the
they
series.
did. Yes, they
But
did. That's true.
they do a better job of telling that Flashpoint story than that first season.
Yes.
Than this
They
movie.
That was when I
actually
stopped
showed-
watching that show. I hate Flashpoint.
You hate
Yeah.
Flashpoint, but they did it. If you're going to adapt Flashpoint, then you might as well. That version was much better because there's no.
Flashpoint.
You don't have the yeah. You don't have the overarching villain like the big bad that's behind everything. It turns out to be Barry's the big or a version of himself that he created was the
Mhm.
big bad. So I think that was the big miss there. I mean, you got all those great member Barrys and Keaton and
There's
but
Tom.
six.
Hey,
What do
there's
you?
Tom. Tom, come on in, man. You got to leave.
Yeah. Yeah, you come on in, Tom. Yep. So what did you
Tom?
think of it? 6. That's what you just.
Hearing you, Mark, hearing you and Clobby talk about it at the end of the Clobby's Clubhouse, it made it worse for me.
Oh,
Uh-oh.
sorry.
Now I think it's now down to maybe a 3.5, 3.5 or 4.
Ouch.
Tom, come on here, please.
You make it worse for her. Don't make it worse, Tom. Come on, Tom.
The reason I had it at a 5, I think I had it at a 5 on Meat. The reason I had it at a 5 was because the emotional moments talking about Barry and his mom.
Yeah. No, I hear you.
Because I would do anything to give my dad a hug.
Yeah, I hear you.
He
there,
passed
yeah.
away, many years ago, and so any kind of reference to something like that just it gets me, losing
Sure.
a parent. It sucks, and so that's probably why I had it at a 5. But now I'm, I've come down off the curly fries high, and because that's what I got at the theater, and they didn't
Really
even
good though,
taste very good.
Oh,
So
man.
the whole night was kind of a.
And I got to say that scene in the grocery store, didn't resonate as much with me as I did. Although I love the sentiment of that, and I agree with what you're saying. I mean, I had a friend who was kind of arguing with his dad. I'm like, you know how much I would give to have my dad back, just to have one more conversation with him,
Yeah.
or give him a hug. So I'm like, just make up with your dad. Who cares if he's wrong? Just I didn't want to butt in too much, but when you lose a parent or a loved one or a friend. But the scene was too drawn out for me and too, I don't want to use the word schwarmy, but it just didn't hit that emotional resonance for me. Although it wasn't a bad scene, but and I see what they were going for there. But
yeah, the grocery store scene that was the least of the scenes that hit me in the feels. That was the least.
That was the least, right? Yeah, because it was too long. I thought they just should have gotten in and out and gotten that message. It was too much there. And of course, you would recognize your son probably as an older. I mean, he's like 8 or 9, but you would still recognize your kid. There's no way I wouldn't recognize my kid in 10 years, even if he did time travel. So, those emotional scenes were not bad, but it was just not having the overarching story is just not held together by something cohesive, and all these multiverses, and it's an easy trope to have. And I did enjoy seeing, I'm not gonna lie, I enjoyed seeing Christopher Reeve, and thank God they didn't have him speaking or saying any lines. It was you didn't like it, you liked it, or
I didn't. I thought
you didn't.
it was
Okay.
terrible.
Which
I
part?
thought the CGI was bad, and
the CGI.
Oh, it's awful. All through it.
I think they were going for like a cartoony look on all the other worlds, or was that me?
I didn't.
What did you guys think?
That.
Oh,
I
it looked like the kids from what's a movie that Christmas movie, Polar Express.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
It looked
yeah.
awful to look at. I was
Right.
trying not to laugh in the theater. Me and the 6 people who all went by themselves too.
Oh, not many people there.
Well, there's about
We
10
had
people,
4.
and 6 of them all,
5, I think.
including me, all went by themselves. And I even then, as I said earlier on both Midnight's Edge and TNT, I wanted to take off my clothes, throw them in a fireplace, take a shower because of how violated this movie makes me feel. I feel like I need to do a second shower and use extra body wash, and maybe I should double down on the conditioner because I need to be conditioned out of this movie.
You know what I'm seeing something about this? Because 6, I'm seeing a pattern. Tom, when he started out tonight, said, I didn't really hate it. I didn't like it. Now look at him in the chat after this movie. And you're saying it. My rating's been going down too. This movie is the ultimate movie that does not pass the think test. You go home, you think about it, you're like, oh, shit.
Yeah, didn't he say he didn't hate it?
At first, yeah.
The
I
Tom,
was
you
there
said-
too.
you
I
talking
was kind
Tom?
of like that. I was the same. I didn't like it, but I didn't hate it. And then you start thinking about it and you're processing it. That's why it's not really great to review a movie an hour after you see it.
Yeah.
I just want to do it now because I don't forget it. My memory's
Yeah,
so bad.
I'm already forgetting crap from it.
I just wanted to come home and watch Michael Keaton Batman movies.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, let's talk about how good Keaton was in this, other than that opening scene. Even though he did have some fun scenes in the kitchen, well, Batman would have much better security on his mansion, even though. And why is the mansion run down? But the entrance was interested in fighting in the kitchen, but it should have just been a Bruce Wayne in a well kept Wayne Manor. I mean, I love seeing the old dining room and all the old Asian armor. I thought that was fantastic, and the way they recreate everything, that was great. And Batman's not going to say he's not going to help save the world either, please. I mean, come on. Did anyone else growing in the movie theater say when he said no to Barry the first time?
Yeah, I hate that kind of crap. We're so old. Tom knows he has a link, right? Tom, you got a link, dude.
Yeah, you got a link, right? Did you send him a link, or did
I did. Did you? Maybe not.
You did.
Maybe don't feel like it.
Yeah. Well,
I didn't like Michael Keaton
didn't?
in this movie.
I
No,
didn't
and that's
either.
the reason that I went to see it. I was very disappointed as soon as they started. Didn't he attack them? Is that how he first came into the picture?
Yeah, well, of course they are breaking into his house, but it was so
Right.
ridiculous that
Well, the
you know,
door
one
was
of the richest-
ajar. They could have been a stray dog that could have wandered
Yeah.
in. So
yeah, but that's
Wasn't
so
the door
ridiculous. Yeah, it was open. Barry's like it's open, but that's so ridiculous to have an open. I just hate that trope. I mean,
yeah,
I mean, come on, that huge mansion. He's not, and he's still got money. He's not going to let the thing fall apart. I mean, and Gotham City didn't have. He said, he didn't need to be Batman as much because crime was way down. So
So you see, no link.
Tom, it's in the Mead group chat.
I put it in Mead.
Even after he was clean shaven and cut his hair and had on the bat suit, I still felt no sense of nostalgia for
Oh, you
Michael
didn't?
Keaton.
Me
in
either.
that. No, I was really
Wow.
disappointed because I figured at least I would walk out of the movie feeling, renewed sense of my love for Michael Keaton's Batman, and I didn't. So that
There he is.
was kind of a wah wah.
There he is. Hey,
hey, Tom, thank you for joining.
what's up, Tom?
I'm bad, Tom.
I'm that dog.
We're doing this again.
Oh, you
Batman.
get that? That's a piece of history. It belongs in a museum. Look what they've done to my boy. They had to kill
at
him
those
over
abs.
and over again. It wasn't good enough. Oh no.
Just
And
to
what
keep
the hell
killing
is
him.
this shit? You show me the Batmobile and you never drive it?
Oh, don't make me lower my rating. Yeah, they never did drive the Batmobile. Oh,
No.
They didn't do any
sucks.
bat shit. He's like, we're gonna go use some bat shit. They used the Batwing twice. Woo.
we had some bombs. you had some. You had some
I saw a
batarangs,
batarang
Batman.
in there, I guess.
You had some batarangs, right? And they did have the line
Yeah.
about asking how much you weighed, right? You had to ask
Yeah,
everyone
that
how,
was
how
the
much they
step.
weighed.
It's like Terminator 2 all over again. Just give me the same lines. Keep feeding them to me. That way I don't have to memorize a new script. What's my first line? I'm Batman. Okay. Well, that was the same line in 1989.
At least you couldn't forget your lines there. That's helpful, right?
You
when
want to
you're
get
older.
nuts? Let's get nuts. I said that back then too.
Yeah.
How much do you weigh? All the same shit.
What was her
It's
answer?
like
Was it
a
108
K-Tala
pounds?
album.
What did Vicky Vale say? She weighed 108 pounds.
You weigh a little bit more than 108.
Wait, yeah.
It was 108. Yeah. Yeah, I went to the doctor today for a physical. Yeah, well, I did not weigh 108 at my physical. Yeah, I thought the nurse read the scale wrong. I'm like, thanks, you took off 100 pounds for me. It's like, yeah, it's like, oh nope, I got to put the right one down there. Yeah, Tiki says, yeah, it's a thin line between love and hate. I mean, there was stuff.
Show
I
me
did
all
like
these
about
bat
this movie.
suits. Only wears one. What kind of toyetic less boy shit is this?
Oh, poor Batman. Well, here.
What the hell? He's going to
about-
Russia where it's cold. He has an Arctic suit.
Should have been wearing that. Yeah. Well, here's one of my.
Oh,
old-
we're going to the desert. Maybe I should dress a little cooler.
No, he's in his. He's got thermals on. He's always got thermals in his bat suit, right?
Wait a minute, that's P.
This movie should have never been made.
No.
Well, I think they wanted to get. Probably wanted it to go away once Miller had so many troubles.
They
I think.
could just had it go away and just never released it. And did you? I've already got
Agreed.
word about what the projections are look at for Thursday night. So get a load of this. Word on the street is that the movie is made under 10 million domestically on Thursday night showings. And now, for a better reference, on Thursday night showings, Quantumania did around 17 million.
Wow.
That should tell you.
Now, this is
how
actually
dead
a
in the
million
water-
less than Little Mermaid.
Wow.
That's how dead in
And
the
the
water.
preview
this movie
screenings
is.
weren't much better. Like I'm heard 200,000 is what it made yesterday in the preview screenings. And it was showing across the US yesterday and on
Yeah.
preview screens in bigger cities.
It's looking around.
It only
around
did
9
370,000 in China.
Wow. Wow.
million.
Yeah,
I
because
can't
you would
believe
think
I'm
with the
praising
nostalgia
China for
factor,
that.
you'd think the nostalgia factor would help draw people. And I guess that's what they were
I think
counting
it
for,
tells
right?
you Ezra Miller was not an. I mean, sorry, Michael Keaton was not enough to counterpoint. Ezra Miller. Here's another thing that I honestly don't even think it's just the Ezra Miller stuff. I think it's a lot of things. It's the Ezra Miller stuff, and I think it's just a lack of interest in the genre, and also the stigma of the DCEU. And yes, this is another opportunity to throw my 1 millionth shade at Zack Snyder. This has Snyder stigma all over it,
It does.
from top to bottom. People are so burned out
Oh,
from
yeah,
this
yeah.
universe, and people have been so burned. It's just like, how many times do I have to throw shit at the wall and hope that it'll stick this one time?
Well, this movie has literally gone through every single regime change, if you think about it.
Yes, it has. Yes. Take it away, Tom.
No, I was just saying, like, from the time it started actually, like, going into production, it was under Zack Snyder still, and by the time all of that was said and done, because, like, that's the thing, is this movie has been nothing but a mess since day one. It has been harboring what it was supposed to do to transfer things over to 2 or 3 other universes at this point. It's going to do nothing but confuse audiences at the end of the day, and that's if the audience even gives it enough shit to even go see it.
Mm-hmm. Dude, this storyline, keep this in mind too. Outside of Dark Knight Returns and Watchmen, this storyline has been adapted for different mediums outside of comics already 3 times in the last 12 years. Because it started with the comic books in 2011, and then we got the animated version 2 years later, and then we got the TV version 2 years later, and now here we are in 2023, and we have the movie version. I'm not going to say live action because this is not a live action movie. This is not a live action. This looks like, remember when we were all in kindergarten? Well, for those who were close to my age, where you had the teacher roll the box bubble TV into the classroom on the cartwheels, and she would put on some weird movie, a terrible CGI. That's what watching this is like. You're like, oh man, this is really hard to look at. And there were some parts where the CGI absolutely rivaled Scorpion King. I don't think all of it did, but between the babies, the time travel, which looked like Polar Express, but with DC. And then the fight scenes at the third act was absolutely horrendous. Absolutely horrendous. And then the characterization between Barry, Nora, Patty Spivot as well. Oh, that's a character a lot of people don't know about, but she was a girlfriend to Wally West in the books. And let's just say she's a lady who has it really collected, really, really, in leadership, really good at what she does. And they made her the complete opposite, a degenerate in this movie for the worst. Like, what a spit in the face of that character. And there are people, who I know who are invested in Wally and his relationships with her, Linda Park. And it's just like, bro, come on, really? All you got to do, even Patty Spivot, or yeah, sure, there's only 20 people who know her, but 20 people were invested in her relationship with Wally. Come on, don't do Patty dirty like that. This shit wasn't cool, man. And once again, it's the third movie of a trilogy we never got. We never got to go with Barry to get to this type of moment. This is a big thing. If I wanted to even accept the story, it's a big turning point type of moment. This is the moment you save for in a third or fourth movie. We got it as the first movie that will probably not have a sequel. Like, oh, that's once
This
again,
universe is dead.
fan. If you're a Flash fan, this is how you remember the first ever Flash movie, as a movie that was supported by other characters. And Sasha Kell, I mean, she's okay, but whether you find her good, bad, okay, it doesn't matter, because it's clear that she was hired to check off the box. Because you know why? In the books, her role was literally the role of Superman. The Project Superman guinea pig lab rat experiment, that was all Superman in the books. But because they got to check off the box, like, okay, which character?
Didn't they do that in a movie too? Didn't they do the exact storyline, the Cadmus?
Well,
Or
this was
that
worse
just-
than checking off a box, guys.
I'm listening.
Sorry, go ahead, Mark. I'm sorry.
It's okay. I'm trying to remember what was it? Animated DC. They had that whole version with Superman, who's trapped in.
That is
Yeah,
all
is
Supergirl.
that-
Project Superman.
That's Project Superman. Was that a movie or was that I'm
No,
trying
I talk about Red Sun.
Is that Red Sun or is that?
Well, there's Red Sun, and then Flashpoint, the comic and the movie. Remember when Thomas Wayne, the Flashpoint Batman, and Barry had to get Barry's powers back, and then they gotta go find Superman. That's
And
what
Superman's really
obviously
skinny
Barry,
in that when they find him, he's all
yes,
dis-
that's exactly Supergirl in
I'm
this. She was the
Yeah,
Superman
yeah.
of this movie. So they
Yeah.
basically just put her there just because, too many men.
I mean, she was okay, but she doesn't have a big role in the movie. And then,
Well, her original reason for being there is more nefarious than just too many men, though. That's the thing. Because the whole reason they did this initially was they were going to kill Superman and Batman off, basically. Or at least Batman was going to retire, and the next movie, Batgirl, would be de facto Batman Beyond with Michael Keaton. Their whole thing was it was going to be Supergirl, Wonder Woman, and Batgirl going forward.
so they were going to do the Marvel method, I guess.
Yep, the
Kill off
DCU.
kill off all your main heroes and replace them.
Also, a lot of people are saying online that when they showed the whole CGI festival of all the cameos, that was Teddy Sears from the Flash season 2, who was Zoom in the show. If that's him, that is absolutely awful that they put Teddy Sears in that. They couldn't at least get John Wesley Shipp, who was not only the Flash in the 1990 show, but the guy who was also Jay Garrick in the 2014 show.
Oh, so that's
They
who that
really-
was.
That's
That
who
was
I'm
Teddy Sears
hearing.
for-
I can't confirm it, but everyone is telling me that that's Teddy Sears. And I'll tell you what, from the quick photo I saw, it sure looked like Teddy Sears.
It
Once
did
again,
kind
I
of.
may
Now
be
you're saying
wrong,
it did look like
so don't
him. Yeah.
quote me on it. I'm just going off what I've been told. It looks like him, and that's dumb. That's absolutely dumb.
I took a picture of the cast. Let's see. Iris West, Alfred Pennyworth. Let's see. Sandwich Guy, Kid Barrett, Flash fans. Oh, I didn't get it, I guess. Yep. I usually take pictures of the credits to see who's who.
no.
But
And
yeah, I
then
mean,
having
they should have had
George
Ship.
Clooney. George Clooney.
I laughed
really-
at that.
I
That
laughed.
was funny.
It's
That was
funny, but it's
funny,
also stupid because it shows you this universe
It was
is just
stupid.
it's ugh.
It
Well, actually,
makes
'cause
no
he's the same-
sense.
He's the same Batman. That's what I was telling my
Exactly.
friend is they go out. He's Michael Keaton, right? He's
Right.
Val Kilmer. It's the same character.
And
just
they
different
shot
actor.
this with Michael Keaton. That's what makes no fucking sense
Yep,
too.
they did.
Yeah.
I remember those images.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
that-
Supergirl was there too in the initial ending.
Oh, she was okay. Yeah. I mean, it's just you can do like this as an Elseworlds or a what if story, but then when you don't tie up all the loose ends and it doesn't make sense. Yeah, and it just becomes a joke too. And that's my biggest problem with the portrayal of Barry Allen is making him this jokey, non-serious character. If you've read any of the comics, part of it is Miller, I'm sure, not fitting
Yeah, he has
into
a
the
sense of
role, and part
humor.
of it's a
He's a lighthearted sense of humor. He's not a serious guy, but he's not like that. Yeah.
yeah. Oh, do you have some pictures to show, Tom, or that? Yep.
Yeah, this is what I was talking
Yeah,
about. Where
oh, yeah,
this
yeah,
is
they showed-
when
yep.
they were. This is the so to show that they did have Michael Keaton and Sasha there originally at the end.
Oh,
sequence.
at the very end sequence. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, how would she have? How would she? I get. I don't even want to ask how she would have survived. I guess, or
As I said, she was meant to like at the end. Originally, in the original ending, he came back and Michael Keaton was there instead of George Clooney. So he's like, well, "What the fuck?" Like he said in the movie. So he's like, he thought he fixed everything. Well, it doesn't
Yeah.
matter. Everything's still screwed up. Then Sasha shows up. So this basically shows that the new, and then going forward, we're gonna get Batgirl. So like, yeah, that was
Yeah.
that whole.
wow, interesting. Yeah, yeah.
And they also shot a version of Aquaman's end credit scene with Michael Keaton, Ben Affleck, and probably George Clooney, from what I've heard. So I have no idea why or what for, but yeah, because this is going nowhere. And Aquaman 2 takes place before this movie. At
No,
least
yeah.
that's
So
what I've
is
been
Aquaman
told.
2 going to be canned, or is that going to actually? See
No,
the light
it's
of
still
day?
coming out this Christmas, but why they just didn't put it out already is beyond me.
Yeah, right. I mean, who's going to want to? I mean, he's so ill-fitting for that character of Arthur Curry. It's. I mean, people like that first Aquaman movie.
I've heard that the problem with this one is that it sucks. Like every test screening they've had is that it sucks horribly.
Wow.
That doesn't.
And I heard, and this movie had just so much, so many reshoots and
Both of them
problems.
did.
Yeah.
Like, in fact, I quote often the one dude who told me flat out, he said the one after one of the Aquaman 2 screenings, he's like, because I said something about Amber Heard. I go, so how did the crowd react to her? Because it was right after Amber Heard's trial ended or whatever. He goes, Amber's not the problem. He goes, the bigger problem is the movie shit.
Yeah. That's a much bigger problem. Right?
Because she's hardly in the fucking
Amber.
movie.
Well, maybe that ties
Like-
into Amber, part of the pun.
Yeah, she's in a bed, which is even more ironic, I guess. But yeah, through most of the movie. But
Hey, Mr. Angel's here. Good morning, Mr. Angel, on the
Hey,
other,
Chef.
other side of the world. Yep. I hope you're making a good
Hello.
breakfast for me.
I'm surprised they didn't
Pancakes.
reshoot it all just to get back at her for spoiling the whole movie on The Stand. Or at least not the whole movie, but a big part of the movie. I don't know if you guys
Did she?
remember that.
No, what happened?
Well, she said, she goes, I initially had an action sequence, then that got cut. And I'm also pregnant with his child in a hospital through most of the movie.
Oh my God. Oh, wow.
Yeah, so she's pregnant with Aquaman's child in bed through most of the movie, knocked out.
God.
I
just
hope
Which
never
kind
liked
of
someone
it.
makes
confirmed what I had heard, yeah.
I hope someone makes a documentary on the disaster that is the not DCEU, because you know what? Script Doctor is right. This is not a universe. It's just
Well-
a freaking pile of mess.
It is.
Script
The
is
spaghetti
right.
scene is a perfect example of what this movie is. This
Yeah.
universe is.
Oh, man.
And to me, that was the dumbest thing ever. It's the dumbest convoluted explanation for time travel I've ever heard in my life. It actually
Yeah.
made Endgame make sense.
It did.
Yeah, it
You know
did.
what's, also
Darius.
sad? When they use that Let's Get Nuts scene. I remember hearing about it in the trailer, and I'm like, ooh, that doesn't sound good, but I'll wait till if I actually see it, because maybe it's
In the
just out
context of the movie, it's
and then the
worse.
context, it's
so
it's
bad.
so much
Crazy time.
worse. Oh, it was bad. I was like, wow, they proved me wrong in the worst way possible. I want to. I also I want to be I want to be proven wrong for the better, not for the worse. Also, you could totally tell Michael Shannon just filmed his head. and that's all.
Oh,
he
you
did.
don't
He
think it was
filmed
ever on? You don't think it was ever
Nope.
on set?
Nope.
Yeah.
Nope.
Mm-mm.
Don't think he was. Nope. He was never there. It's
Yeah.
dude. Go look at shots of the movie. It was just his.
There's some
Only
horrible
as a-
shots in this movie. Yeah.
Oh man.
I say, like, I
I-
did enjoy the baby scene, but you're right. The CGI was pretty wonky. and I
So
don't know if
bad.
that was. I mean, the idea of the scene is fantastic.
They look like the
Well,
ones
then
from
they,
the Talking
idea.
Baby movie.
But
No,
how's
Talking
it
Baby
that-
movies, they look like that.
How's it that there's like 6 babies
Baby
near the top of
geniuses?
the building, and there's
Yeah.
absolutely no one else under the building?
That whole
We're-
sequence made no fucking sense.
well,
We were
everyone else died.
discussing
under
that
the-
earlier.
Yeah, everyone else.
Well,
all
the
the
way
other
they're
floors died.
implying, okay, if you quickly like pay attention to what's going down, they're implying that the rest of the building has evacuated, but they can't get that lady out of the baby ward for some fucking reason.
the door is locked or
The
broken
door
or
is
something.
locked. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And then they just leave her there
Mhm.
because they're not flying out the window when the windows and everything busts open. Did you not notice that?
I might.
Nobody's
have left,
running
too.
out of the building. Nothing is going on. So, as far as I'm concerned, that Batman's already evacuated the building and moved on to chasing these guys down. That's what I was interpreting is going on here. Yet, I also said earlier the thing. It's like, okay, fine. Even let's just say logically, just for the moment, just because for the sake of movie, right? That the doors won't open. You're in a hospital where every single floor has a fire axe on it. Grab the axe, break the fucking door. It's that simple. Like it was just like that sequence leading up to that, where I was like, this, you have a perfect opportunity for a Batman scene, and they fuck it up. What he does is he's coming up, he comes out on the motorcycle. All that shit's stupid too, because script director's right. He's already in the fucking helicopter thing. He should have just stayed in that. Like, there's no reason for him to hit the ground. Anyway, once he hits the ground, he sees that
Yeah,
they're
it's a lot easier to chase someone. Yeah,
Exactly.
And the hovercraft.
exactly.
Although I love the motorcycle. So cool. I'm a
Yeah,
motorcycle
yeah,
guy, so-
regardless, there's some parts
But
of it that
you're
are cool,
right,
but
though. You're right.
But anyway, so
though,
we
yeah.
get going down the road, and here's a setup for a perfect Batman sequence, right? You tease the kids getting out of the bus, so you got a line of kids walking across the street or whatever. There goes 6 again.
Oh,
the
where'd
fuck?
6 go? Oh, 6,
um,
come back, please.
6.
Oh, she's gonna quietly leave. Oh, I didn't see that 6. I was loading something. But thank you for being here, 6. Yeah.
Sorry, 6.
She
Big
did
K
this
number
earlier
1.
too.
Feel free to come back anytime.
Raquel.
We love having you on the channel. Yep. And
Anyway,
Raquel snuck into the room.
Anyway,
Go
I
ahead,
was
Tom,
saying,
yep.
like, you got this perfect setup. These kids are going across the road, and so he throws these spikes in front of their tires. Okay, now the perfect setup there is, Batman didn't realize these kids are crossing the road, and he threw the spikes already. He knows there's an inevitably going to be a crash, and this car is going to crash into these kids. So you're setting him up for double jeopardy there, right? No, they
Yep.
take a left.
They took a lot. Yeah, that makes sense to me.
It's like, why did you even set all that up? Like,
Unless
that
he
was
knew that
dumb.
throwing those would make them go to the left. to not
Maybe,
shoot
I guess,
Because he's
logically, maybe.
it. Yeah, but
Mm.
they should have hit the. And it took way too long for Batman to catch those guys too in a Humvee. With the bat cycle, he should have been able to take those guys out a lot quicker. Or do something, or have them come up with something to why they could get away much faster. But
Yeah.
that was a little bit too long. I mean, it was a phenomenal scene with Batflick on the bridge and he's surfing on the pavement. I mean, it's fun Batman-esque stuff, but it's that should have happened much earlier. You should be able to take those guys out pretty quickly. And I did like the baby scene, but you're right, the CGI was wonky. I mean, I was in a Dolby theater, which is allegedly like the best theater to see it in, with the picture and sounds, and the sound in the Dolby theaters are phenomenal. I mean, the seats rumble, you hear everything in 3D. It's gorgeous.
Did any of you have your movie in with the closed caption? Because ours did. It's my first
No.
time I've ever been to a movie theater. They had the closed
You
caption.
must
on.
not have made it. Sometimes, if you don't pay attention to the screenings, they'll tell you it has captioning on it
No,
because
they
they
told
do.
us when we got our ticket, but we didn't know. Before that, we didn't want to go to another feature. We didn't have a choice. But
Oh.
just have never been to a movie in my life, but that's saying we would go to the same
That,
one forever.
or there was somebody who was actually in the audience who was deaf and they requested it.
No, there were 5 people in there. I knew all of
Well,
them.
then why did they even bother? That doesn't make
I
sense.
have no idea. It's never
Because like on my screenings, it'll actually
I've
say like
never
there's
had
like
that.
like there's like 2 or 3 that are showing it, and then they'll have one that'll actually say open captioning on it.
Well, I've never seen that in the
Yeah.
theater ever. We've gone to that same one all the time. My buddy and I that we go. We had 2 friends. We were the only ones in there. We thought we saw one other guy, and we didn't realize there were 2 other people way at the top. Turned out 2 people that we know. It's like, man, so there were 5 people in the theater we sent. But
The only other time I've
why-
known of that was there was one time when I was at a screening where somebody was deaf, and they requested it, and they because
It
they
didn't
never
bother me, I guess, but it was,
because they couldn't do that back in the day with film. Like they'd
Oh,
actually
they
have
can
to
they can
get
just turn this. They
they
can
just
turn
turn
it
the
on or off.
subtitles on. Yeah.
right now.
Wow.
So they actually
have.
have screenings often with captioning open on them. Yeah.
Well, I've
It was
seen that
weird,
too.
but-
They do it for ADA and so but they usually list it in the movie before you buy the tickets. Like this one has captioning. Of course, everyone's
Exactly.
watching
That's
captioning
what I was saying.
now.
Yeah.
That's the big trend. Everyone watches everything on streaming with captioning now all the
I
time. It's
don't.
another
I've had
debate.
girlfriends that did that in the past too, and it drove me nuts.
I don't really like it much. Seeing the
Only
cat
time
thing.
I do it, and I love it because it's a feature on like my Roku and a couple of the streaming services. You can have it set up to where if you ever hit rewind, the captioning will cut up just for the sequence you rewinded for, and then once you get back to where you were, it'll quit. I love that feature because the only
That is a
time
good
I ever
feature.
use the closed captioning or the subtitles is when I miss something or I can't understand what they said. So it's a great feature because then I don't have to go through 12 steps just to hear what the hell he said.
I do it late at night too if I'm watching something. I don't want to.
That's a little
Wake up the
different,
wife.
but yeah.
But most of the time we end up watching the closed caption. I have to say, my wife likes it too to have it on, and then you get used to it too because you're lazy or the air conditioner's too loud or something. But yeah, I
It'd
can
always
see
tell you like the
in a
kind of
movie
music.
theater.
It would say somber music, or helpful music,
Yeah.
or it's got different types of just pensive music. Like,
And
Lord.
Hail to Shooter. Hail Shooter is one of my
Hey,
patrons.
Shooter.
So thank you, Shooter. Thank you for being here. Yep.
The first 20 minutes or so, I was trying to give the movie a chance. I was like, we get to the scene with the babies really look terrible. There's a scene in a movie I can't even stand. Oh God, one of those X-Men movies with Quicksilver with this one great scene in that movie Apocalypse, I think, when Quicksilver goes into the Xavier mansion.
Yep.
A bomb blows the thing up and he gets everybody out. That's one of the greatest scenes I've ever seen. It's like you got a speedster scene in that. That's better. That one scene there when he gets all the kids out. It's better than every speedster scene in this movie, and it's not even close.
Why is the Flash always got lightning bolts
I
going
hate
all the
that.
time?
So that's because of
Is that
idiot
the more
artists.
modern
That was
comics?
Snyder's.
The
Well, part of
Snydery-
that is Snyder's design. I think part of it's out of the
It's
comics too. Yeah.
some later comics, even the
Newer
stupid TV
shit,
show
yeah.
does that. Like it drives me insane when they started doing that.
I have not
liked.
liked anything they've done with this incarnation of the Flash since the start.
Yeah.
The casting, the style, everything about him I've disliked.
Yeah, I hate it too.
Because wouldn't the Flash
hate
be
it too.
blinding everyone as he's running
just-
around the world? I
The whole
mean,
point. Yeah, he didn't do that crap before. I was surprised that they even let him do the whole. They had to call it phasing. Vibrating through stuff.
yep.
I was surprised they let him have one of his old cool superpowers, that where he just be able to vibrate. through
Which I don't
stuff.
think
That was
they've
kinda-
ever established prior to this either.
Not in movies, maybe, but in
No.
Well,
That's
didn't-
what I'm saying.
comics forever.
Didn't the John Wesley ship Flash phase one time in that TV show, if I remember
He
correctly?
might
Was it the one
have.
with the one with Mark Hamill? Was that the one with the trickster? Did he
trickster.
phase?
Maybe, but what I'm talking
He
about
phased
is just
one time,
in the movies.
movies.
Like that's what I'm saying. Like
Yeah.
that's the problem we have here. Nick, you've said this a few times, and I agree with you wholeheartedly. Like this feels like a third movie in a trilogy we've never seen the first 2 movies to.
Yeah, you don't get to grow a berry on, because the thing is that you have to have an origin story, and you have the journey that gets to such a big climactic moment like this type of story. Once again, if I was invested, to me this would feel like the 3rd or 4th movie in a series of movies, and they're just skipping the investment that you're supposed to have and just going straight into this big climax.
They did a poor
Does-
job of really, because you don't have to have several movies to do this either, Nick. That's the problem. Because look at a movie like Back to the Future or It's a Wonderful Life. All you have
Eric
to do
Stoltz
is
was great in that movie, by the way.
don't even get me started on the nerd jokes. I was getting.
I wonder
earlier,
how many
but
people knew that in the movie. I was
not
trying to tell
many.
people the
Not
movie
many.
theater.
No, and that was a problem with this movie. This is a nerd movie. Like, it's great that we can have little nerdgasms and laugh and giggle at some of those jokes, but it's not a movie made for the masses. Most people don't know that Eric Stoltz was
No, they
originally
don't.
cast.
They don't know about
Most
Nicolas
people don't
Cage
even
either.
know that Nick Cage
Nicolas
came
Cage.
that close to fucking playing Superman.
They don't know.
They don't know, so like they're not going to understand any of the context for this shit.
They
But
should have
again, as I was
subtitles
saying,
for that.
yeah, right. Maybe if it was in doubly. But no, like, all you have to do is take the first 10, 15, 20 minutes of the movie. They didn't really do a good job of that, really establishing what Barry's like. It's wasted on this opening sequence with the baby shower and the sandwich bit and all that kind of shit and the Batman stuff. When it's like, here's the time of the movie you should be showing us what is Barry's life like now. Right? Because part of this has to be about what is he leaving? What is he sacrificing to do this? And also we have to see what he comes back. What's changed? Like, we get very little to go off of. Like, I feel like I've only seen half a movie and the damn thing's still 3 hours long and feels like it. But there's so much missing.
Was so ridiculous too that's
I know, right?
long. I mean, it's like Barry Allen has super speed. He can go to the grocery store and buy food. It just doesn't like. They're doing it for the.
Why didn't he just go back there and make it himself? He steals everything else.
That's what I thought he was gonna do. Was just go back and like make the sandwich and have it like appear there, and then just that would have been actually smart. And the guy's like, "Oh, someone made one here. This is for you," and have him pay for it or something. But yeah, it's just for the silly laughs, and then the thing on his suit where it shows how much energy he's got left. I mean, how ridiculous was that? I mean, why are they Iron Man in his suit like that, where he's low power? It kind of reminded me of Underdog. He needed to take the pill to keep going. I mean, it's a funny bit to have. Barry eats a lot. We know that makes sense, but to have and the baby bit, as much as I did like that scene with the baby shower on its own, that they've got to break it up with him ridiculously like eating food, in there and going like one thing if the taco was going by and he ate it, but to go break into the candy jar, the candy machine and have to get candy out. I'm like, oh my god, that was just they're trying to be too silly and too cute when just let the scene ride as it is, because you've got a funny a funny bit there at the end with catching all the babies. And I don't know if anyone remembers the video game where they couldn't have that anymore, where the arcade game where you'd catch the babies out of the building. Anyone is old enough to remember that one? And then if you missed them, they would go splat. Or was it maybe it was a PC game that I had? Yeah, it wasn't.
I don't know that one.
It wasn't so PC for a PC game. Yeah, maybe it was an indie game, but I remember playing it, and you if you didn't catch the babies, they went splat. It was pretty scary. Yeah, but yeah, there's a lot that's a miss in this movie. But I guess this is all going away, right? So I guess you had Wonder Woman Gal Gadot in there as her last scene, right?
That scene was kind of funny with the lasso.
Yeah, that was funny.
It was kind of funny. I mean, cute,
Unless she's going to be an Aquaman. Do you think she's going to be an Aquaman, or probably not?
She might be. It's possible.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
maybe.
if she is, it's already been shot. I mean, that movie, like Not Flash, it's been done for a long time. They're cutting their losses, taking whatever money they probably didn't finish the CGI because of how much money they've already spent at the time when Ezra Miller was going freaking bipolar haywire. So it's just like, okay, this movie's down in the dumps. It's beyond saving. We're just gonna have to try to prop it up the best we can. So let's just get Stephen King to lie about it and say it's amazing, and hopefully people will believe him. I don't believe for 1 second Stephen King saw this movie. I don't believe Tom.
Well, Stephen King liked it. Said he liked it.
Well, apparently he did. He said I'm not a big fan of superhero movies, but that's not really a wonderful movie. Here's the thing: even if I liked him, I'm not looking about how much I like a guy or don't. I'm looking as I just don't buy it. I truly believe they paid these guys just to say, like, yeah, I can't prove it. There's nothing to disprove it either. But my gut tells me these people were just paid to say it because they knew this movie was in bad shape, and they need to try to get some names that I guess you could say are very well received to have be publicly acceptable, whether it's in the movie business or the book business. So they're like, okay, hey, this is a well reputable name. Let's just get him to say it's good. And as far as the Tom Cruise thing, I don't know if he actually said it himself. Apparently, I heard that was something about like a phone call. Yeah. Apparently, he had a private screen. I don't buy that either. I don't buy it. So you're taking one guy I like and one guy I don't like, and I don't buy either of them. So I'm looking at it evenly. I don't buy any of it. I think it's all crap. I truly believe they made this crap up. They made even cut Tom Cruise a check, saying, "Can you just take credit for this?" And he probably would too. That's the thing. He probably would. Like, yeah, sure, fine, just whatever. Let me sign off on the papers. Be done with it. So the movie was dead on arrival, and honestly, it's even more deader than I thought it'd be. I thought, okay, maybe this might do 80, 90, maybe 100 opening weekend, but the fact that we're here might be much less. Dude, this movie's damaged goods. Damaged goods.
Classic Comics is here. What's up, buddy?
Hey, Classic Comics. And I did find the game that I played. I'm not going to play the clip because it involves babies, but this is the PC game that I remember by David Baskin. And so there's babies in the building with fire, and then you're catching the babies, and you had to bounce them into the ambulance. I'll just leave it at that. But yeah, and it's amazing with the internet there, where you can look up and find in 2 seconds. So, yeah, it's yeah, a lot of these celebrity endorsements or things, I just take it with the grain of salt, and I'm always say, hey, I'm going to go see the movie, judge it on my own merit and see if I like it, but if it's someone I really trust, don't waste your now it's $20 on a movie. It's $21 to see the movie in Dolby Digital tonight. So yeah, it ain't cheap. So as I always joke, my friend who told me he's leaving Highlander 2 not to go see it, leave the theater now. I should have listened, Bill. But yeah, it's you're spending a lot of money to go see a movie these days too, so you want to be entertained. So I mean, there's a lot of stuff that I didn't like about the movie, but there were some things I did like, and I did like seeing Keaton again. I can't lie about that. I love that scene in Russia. So there were some set pieces where I really enjoyed, but the whole story arc kind of falls apart and doesn't make sense. I was just talking to my friend coming home. We're like, well, why did Barry's mom get killed? Kind of what you guys were saying. Why did Barry's mom get killed, and what happened with that? And why isn't George Clooney the same Batman as everyone else? And why did they have Robin in there? Why didn't they at least get what's his name, Chris O'Donnell, to come back as Robin? If they're gonna have Batman, or so those are just weird casting choices or decisions that just sometimes don't make sense. And the whole multiverse, and where's Captain Infinity when you need him, right? With all the time travel and the multiverse, and it just as Bat Tom was saying, they just kill him over and over and over, right? So then at that point there's no gravitas to the scene, or there's no you initially say, oh, that was Batman Bruce went out trying to take out the the mothership. He went out, trying to go down as a hero, and he's not, but then they just keep rewinding over and over and over. So it doesn't make sense. Oh, Shooter just joined and became a member. Thank you very much, Shooter. Much appreciated. Awesome. Thank you, Shooter. Yeah, I got monetized last week. So yeah, YouTube just rolled out the 500 sub, 3,000 watch hours. So you get, you can have members and super chat. So much appreciated for that, Shooter. He's also on the Patreon side too. So really appreciate that. That's very nice of you to do. Yep. So I guess none of us here.
The worst thing I've seen today. So that movie.
Well, I heard they're going to make an Eternals too.
I'm talking about today and this day. Yesterday. Now.
Okay, what was the worst thing you saw?
The first episode of Stranglehold Worm season 2.
And what's that about? Now that you teased me with it, I told I haven't watched it yet.
Oh, you want me to tell you?
Well, yeah, I don't care about. Does anyone care if we spoil Stranger New Worms? Yep.
There's a scene where I can't believe it. This stupid as this Flash movie. Dr. Mbenga and Nurse Chapel are about to be attacked by a bunch of Klingons on this ship. So they both said, give me. Basically, they take a pop of drug and it gives them superpowers and they kick all the Klingons' asses. And I'm not kidding. A ton of Klingons.
They underdog themselves. They take their underdog pills.
They kick. This is supposed to be Star Trek. They kick a bunch of Klingons' asses.
Like they turned into Shang-Chi. They turned into like Shang-Chi all of a sudden,
it's a drug. And it's about to wear off when they finally start getting beat. But they go Bruce Lee on a bunch of Klingons. It was so stupid.
So of course the Klingons wouldn't have a drug like that either. Yep.
No, only Federation apparently.
But didn't you remember in TOS when they used that drug?
Oh yeah, all those episodes. Yeah, we forgot about those episodes where Kirk would say, "We're about to have to fight some Klingons. Better pop some pill. This our superpower drug."
Or Our Man, right? The Our Man drug. Yeah.
Basically, whatever the cripes it was. I can't believe I said that. That's how bad Star Trek fake Trek though it is now. That usually if someone told that you go, yeah, you're making it up.
Raquel must have loved that.
People like this freaking show.
I don't get why that. But they have kind of like an elaborate fight scene. It was a long drawn out like
just kung fu
martial
fighting.
arts.
Everybody was kung fu fighting. They kicked. I mean they kicked a bunch of Klingons' asses. It was just so stupid. And there was a lot of other unbelievably stupid things in the episode. I'm just naming
what was the main plot thread of the episode?
By the way, did you know there was a Klingon Federation war?
No, there never was. They had the treaty. They had a treaty of organic. No,
there was now. For no reason.
Never happened.
Spock steals the Enterprise, by the way, because Pike goes off to help number one.
So Spock steals the Enterprise again.
Yeah, except this is before it was ever done. Spock steals the Enterprise. I feel like I'm making it up, but I watched it.
Yeah, but there was no Klingon Federation war, but there was a war with the Romulans.
There was now.
Canon. Well, I guess I haven't read enough Star Trek over my lifetime.
You haven't watched enough. So that was actually worse than the Flash movie, but Flash movie was still bad. This Flash movie, though, after about an hour into it, I started almost to give up. I'm like, man, I'm losing my ability to pay attention to this movie because it's just monotonous. Nothing's happening. Basically, they use Venom. They use Nuke or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's some kind of. I'm not kidding. They pop some kind of drug that they apparently just nonchalantly had on their person. Hey, in case they run into some, people fight they can't handle, and they just take a drug and they can whip ass.
Wow. Well, maybe I'll watch that later if I have insomnia. But we usually watch that together and have fun live streaming that together.
You should. I've watched it
in StreamYard, and we make fun what they did to the Gorn. But I guess we should get back to the Flash. But that's not surprising, but disheartening that we're not getting anything good.
Yeah.
Raquel says head desk.
I heard R&B must have advanced copies because the other day he said the second episode of the show usually didn't like Strangled New Worms. He said the second episode was great, wonderful, terrific, and then 2 days later the next day he was saying the fourth episode is the worst piece of garbage he's ever seen in his life. This show sucks. So I don't know what's wrong with him.
That's interesting. Crazy.
Anyway, sorry to derail from the Flash. I just had a little intro there. The Flash goes nowhere, and about an hour into it, when the Michael Keaton stuff fails to be even remotely interesting, I was starting to tap out. Zod was not. I mean, who cares? This is almost 10 years to the week that Man of Steel came out.
10 years.
10 years, and this is how long.
Is that the same year as Into Dumbness?
Movie. Yes, it was. It was not too long away from it. It was around the same. It was 2013, and so this is 10 years. 10 years since Man of Steel came out. That this movie comes out 10 years later, and we get to see. Again, Zod's nothing. He's just not interesting. He wasn't interesting in the last time. He's not interesting now. They don't give you much info.
There's no motivation,
Tara.
Right? There's no motivation for him.
He's just there to take the planet because reasons. and we don't know. It's just from another dimension. Why? And they really don't give you a good explanation of how he's traveling through time. He's just running fast, right?
Oh yeah, there's no cosmic.
As if he's never
treadmill.
run fast before. There's no cosmic treadmill, which at least made some sense in comic book parlance, right?
Although I did think they kind of tried to channel that with when the way he was
Speed.
running. Did you kind of guys get that it kind of was like a pseudo cosmic treadmill?
They didn't have one though. No apparatus.
No,
at
but
all.
just the idea of it, though, I should say, the idea of it, where he's, and that's what I thought they were inferring without having a cosmic treadmill. I mean, even the Flash TV show at least had a cosmic treadmill.
Yeah, but not
And
this.
the-
He just
the-
ran fast. But he's like
Fastest speed of light.
Yes, fastest speed of light, and then he could pick any point in time and go at any other. It was so. I mean, is this written by 3-year-olds? Because they don't even. They said, "Screw it, you can go anywhere in time. That's fine." Why? Because reasons. Shut up and just do it. All right,
Because
sure.
reasons.
Whatever. No, it's a superhero movie. No one cares.
Well, what if?
It's-
Why don't we go around? I want to hear one good thing someone liked about the movie, maybe, and then what you thought was the worst about the movie. So maybe who can I put on the
I
spot?
like
Tom, you want
Tom.
to sit? You like Tom? Yeah. One thing you did like about the movie, Tom. If Tom is there, maybe Tom had to step out for a second. Well, we'll go to Nick.
Put him to sleep.
It was in Dolby Stereo surround sound.
Okay, it was in Dolby.
Back up.
No,
And
I
then what
mean
was
some
it-
of the great cast. It was cool to see Keaton back again, but overall, it's what's the word I'm looking for? It's shallow. It's empty.
Yes.
It felt like a big clip show at the end of the day, more than it did an actual movie. When we like nothing of substance or value here. It was really
No.
yeah. All right, I can't
And
say
then-
much more than that. I wish I liked more, but yeah.
Yeah, so it's you wouldn't recommend people see it then, I guess, yeah. Or well, not that you would say don't see it, but you're not giving it a thumb.
No, I don't recommend it really. I mean,
yeah,
you might as well wait for it's going to be on streaming in a month,
pretty quick, right? Yeah,
probably.
not doing this well, yeah.
Yeah.
And my buddy, pizza buddy Nick Weiser, what was one thing you did like about the movie, even though there was no pizza in it?
It's a lot cheaper than a divorce.
True.
He is right, you know.
I cannot wait
fact
to
check true.
not watch this movie ever again. It's the fact that this is the first, I had to put quotation marks, Flash movie is insulting. This is an insult to Flash fans and an insult to DC fans. And once again, if you're someone who is not a Flash fan, don't think of it based on how much you like the Flash. Think of it based on insert your favorite comic book character. And your favorite comic book character is being sidelined to serve someone else's story, a whole other greater universe story, so that the story that and the character you love has to now be basically just the back end to everything else. And me being a Flash fan, yeah, that pisses me off. For all we know, somewhere out there could be someone whose favorite character is Nova. And that Nova fan goes in to see a Nova movie and it ends up just being a Captain Marvel movie. Yeah, I'm gonna be fucking furious. It's not about how much you like the Flash. It's about this is someone's favorite character out there. And believe me, there are many Flash fans out there. I've known them. I talked to them. I myself am an owner of about 150 comics around that or so of the Flash. And I'm talking Barry Allen alone to add to that. This movie should have never been made. They should just, I get why they put it out. I do, but they should have just called it a day, cut the losses, because this shit seems like it's going to be even worse because they put out. I feel like this might even hurt the DC universe of James Gunn going into this because of all this mess. Because they're taking a mess that's already a mess and making it even worse. And they're going to put out Blue Beetle in, 2 months? Like, that's for sure coming out. Like, just
Does this tie into that at all, or I mean, is that
I
what
don't-
universe is
I
that in?
don't know. I don't know. Don't know.
Yeah.
Don't care. It's
I don't think so.
and I hate saying that because I love Miguel in Cobra Kai. I think he's fantastic. He's actually one of my favorite characters. But him on the press tour for this movie has not been great at all. not at all. And I'm like, man, we're just still 2 whole months away from this movie coming out. And that line was added there for bullshit reasons. But anyway, back to not Flash movie. It's an insult. The CGI is an insult. Characterization is an insult. It's juggling storylines that shouldn't be linked together, mushes them together. It's just absolute garbage. And yes, Zack Snyder snucks. That's it.
Yeah. So, Clobber Times, was there anything you did like about this movie?
Yes.
And then what you didn't like about it?
First, 5 seconds, they come out and establish Justice League over the Snyder butt, and it made me laugh. Stick it, Snyder bots. Stick it, and stick it again. Anything that after 10 years of this shite, 10 years to the week. I mean, yes, the movie sucks. That's fine. We knew it would. I'm not even angry about it. It was kind of just, I'd never have to see it again. I want to remember it in a day or two. But that was funny because it's like you had to hear the squealing like stuck pigs of the Snyder freaking bots going,
oh, Clobby, just you wait. You're. I'll bet you in the next week we can probably look up on YouTube how many people are gonna make videos on. Here's how the Snyder back can come back. Still 5 more reasons on how it can still be alive. It's coming, and you know it is.
Oh, dude, it was flat out. That was Justice League. That was the Justice League right there. That was.
Clobby, you and I should just do an EFAP to all those videos. You and I can do a Molosal EFAP on all these people and on their conspiracies, and we can have a good time laughing about it all night long.
I love it. So it's almost worth it being a crappy garbage movie, which it is boring. It's tedious. It makes no sense. They don't. I mean, Tom's theory notwithstanding, if Tom's theory is not correct, then they flat out just don't tell you who killed Nora Allen.
If that's what it is, then it's even worse.
So tell somebody one way or the other. That's horrible if that's what it is, but tell somebody. So if Tom is right, they should tell us. If Tom's wrong, if Tom's theory is not right, they should tell us. One way or the other, everybody, geeks or normies alike, walk out with no knowledge for sure who killed the woman. And people who, it's worse for normies because they're like, they might walk out thinking, oh, that was kind of weird. The movie's okay, but they don't tell us who killed the lady.
Wouldn't Batman been able to?
The closest you get to it, they don't show anybody implying that anybody else did it or anything like that. The closest you get to it, because even the younger Barry says you're going to go back and kill Mom. The only closest thing you get to it is when the the older Flash says something to him about letting Mom die in the first place. But they never established why anybody would want to kill her in the first place. Exactly beyond that, besides not even presenting a possible person who it could have been. The only other part they bring it up is earlier on, Barry says something about, I think maybe it was a robbery that went wrong and they didn't expect us to be home. That's the closest he says to anything, but at no point did he ever present any idea or any evidence to the contrary that it isn't him that does it, really. To me, the way it plays out, I don't say that this is what they intended, but the way it plays out, it's a bootstrap paradox that basically Barry doesn't exist without his mom dying as the Flash, but he could have never gone back in time to do anything in the first place if he wasn't the Flash, right? So it's just, at the end of the day, it's when you start thinking about it logically, it falls apart so much that it makes Endgame look sane in comparison.
Yeah, because he doesn't get the Flash powers in an alternative universe only because Barry takes him there to recreate the experiment, I guess. So there would have been no Flash in that universe, I guess.
Exactly.
Talking about that on the way home, that was confusing too. Car talk after movie is always very important. So I guess, and then why did he lose his powers by getting struck by lightning again? Why would that take your powers away? Wouldn't that like double your speed? I mean, give you, super underdog.
I was thinking that at first, but then when it took it away too, I was thinking the same thing. I'm like, that's pointless. You went through this whole convoluted storyline when all you really had to do was, just set it up that, since the other Barry didn't get his powers, now all of a sudden he's losing his powers. Like Nick was saying, like a Back to the Future thing.
Yeah.
Like slowly he's losing his powers as the longer he doesn't fix things.
Yeah, yeah.
which is kind of a convoluted way, but still at the same time, it's still
That would
better
have made
than
more
that.
sense. It would have made more sense. Yeah. Well, let me
Yeah.
go. I'll tell what everyone what I did like about the movie. So, of course, I did like Michael Keaton in the movie. I know I didn't like his intro, but I'm a sucker for those member berries. I admit it. I overeat on the member berries, so I'm not gonna. I
At
gotta
least
tell
you
the
admit
truth.
it.
I
I think
admit it.
respect is
Yeah.
to give credit where it's due.
And I thought the scene where where they rescued Supergirl, I thought that was well done. I thought Batman kicking ass. Although again, now that I analyze it more, Flash has got super speed. Why is he not taking out those guys in 1 second just so that Batman?
Exactly.
I know, damn it. But anyway, I did like that scene. If I don't think about it too much, and I thought a couple of the lines, some of the lines between Barry and Batflick were better. They were going somewhere in terms of having a rapport with the two characters, especially the scene outside the bar. But you don't get enough of that, and so. But I have to go with that scene in the just seeing the Batwing. I got to do a review of my old '89 Batwing. I have it in the other room right now, but just seeing that again, so that did get me. That but and the thing I didn't like about the movies, the more we talk about it, how the more it falls apart is all this time travel sequence, and I think it was Classic Comics that they should have had just put Reverse Flash as the main villain, and even if you leave it on a cliffhanger where maybe you're not getting another movie, but at least kind of explain why Nora, who killed Nora, because wouldn't Batman be able to figure that out? I mean, who world's greatest
One
detective?
would think, wouldn't one?
Yeah, they could track down who killed, if it wasn't the dad, right? So, and I would say if you like Flashpoint, go watch season 1 of The Flash. I think that was a good, well done season. I know Clobbering Times is not a fan of that that show, but I did like the first few seasons of that Flash show. Yeah, I mean, go, like I always say, go see the movie if you want to. Don't let us tell you not to see it, but if you want to trust us, we appreciate that. But
Catch it on streaming.
catch it on streaming. But let me I'm gonna just share the credits for who they thanked in the movie. Then we'll let everyone get to
I want to
sleep.
see this because I get to see it. At the beginning, at the outset of the credits, they credited the creations and stuff, creators. But Wonder Woman, let's see here.
Yeah, so
Mike
they
Baron,
do.
yes. John Broome, yeah. Go ahead, sorry.
Well, no, is it are any of these comic book people? Thank you to
Where?
Rob Cohen on top this section here.
No.
Those are no comic book people.
Under
Okay,
that,
and of course we get Bill Finger. Bob came with Bill Finger, and then
You know what they have Mike Baron to thank for? Eating.
what? Yeah, why?
He's the one that introduced the concept of Wally having to eat all the time. In that
okay.
Wally West series that came out after Crisis. He's the first.
Gotcha.
That was never a Barry thing. That was a Wally thing originally. But
Yeah.
anyway, so John Broome, of course, is the creator of Barry, co-creator along with Evertino. All these other names, they belong there. Let's see. Yeah, all the names work. They're fine.
Yeah, some classic. Of course, George Perez. I'm trying to read when I was really into the Flash and reading the Flash in the '80s and '90s. I'm trying to remember who some of the great writers were. It was probably I read a lot of Jeff Johns' work on the Flash. I'm guessing.
They didn't put Mark Wade's name there.
Whereas, unless I missed something. Unless I know, he would have been here, right?
He
Yeah.
wrote Flash, well.
Yeah.
Jeff Johns could go screw himself. No William Meisner Loebs. Oh well.
Yeah.
So Harry Lampert. They put him at the beginning now. Yeah. Sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying. I don't know if I think when I took the photo, I don't know if I missed any. Sometimes you snap it and then you miss.
No, but right when the whole credits started to roll at the beginning of the credits, they did put the Flash. They put the Harry Lampert and Gardner Fox and Carmen Infantino, John Broome, the creators of both the Golden and Silver Age Flashes.
Oh, they did. Yeah, I did see that. Yeah, which was a nice touch. Yeah.
Right.
But
and they showed the Golden Age Flash, and in one scene in that stupid parallel
the Elseworlds thing. Yeah.
That big crossover thing. You know what? They think you're getting your heartstrings by showing you Christopher Reeve and Helen Slater. I mean, it's nice and all, but I don't know. We already talked about it. It doesn't really do much. But why no Linda Carter if you can have Adam West and
oh yeah, where was Linda Carter? Yeah. Yeah, where was Linda Carter? Yeah, she should have been in one of those flashbacks too. Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna go that route, have fun with it. Let's get everyone. Yeah, get everyone in there. Yeah. So, yeah, Raquel says, "Love this chat." Yeah, we're having a lot of fun tonight. But I think let everyone get out of here. I'm gonna play my new. Before we get out of here, I want to thank all my Patreons and sponsors. So let me. I just made a new quick clip, so I want to thank everyone. Oh, that's not the right one. I gotta, come on, Mark. What kind of engineer am I? I think it should be right. Where did it go? Oh, I had this all planned out and everything. Let me add it again. Yep. Thought I added it. Yeah. There we go. Sorry about that. Technical difficulty. Oh, I have too many clips, so I got to delete one.
Yeah, no Dick Rock Swamp Thing. Yeah.
All right. Let's see if this works.
How about no Super Friends either? Damn it.
Yeah.
Damn it.
And weren't we going to get a Wonder Twins movie at some point, or was that a TV show? Yeah.
Yeah. TV show, I guess.
So thank you, everyone. Yeah, it's fun being monetized. I appreciate all the tips and everything, and much appreciated. So thank you for hanging out with us. Thank you, Nick and Tom and Six, if you're still out there listening.
Yes,
Six, thank you for. I think that's the first time you've been on my channel. I can't remember. I could be wrong.
I think it is.
Of course, Clobber Times. Yep. So Six, anytime you're always welcome to come back. But I really appreciate everyone being here. And what do we got? Real quick. I know this is so late, but. You've got your Friday night comic show on Friday, Nick Weiser, right? You're going to be talking this movie, or is it going to be more tribute to John Romita Sr.?
It's going to be, we'll talk about the great John Romita Sr., and of course, we will talk about Rippaverse, what's going on there, show off some hauls, what we've been reading, and on top of it, we'll probably talk about what's going on with Kirkman now that he's acquired the licenses to G.I. Joe and Transformers, and announced yesterday that they will be in a shared comic book universe for his Skybound imprint.
No way.
And wow. Dan Johnson, who's done some really cool indie stuff, is going to be writing Transformers books. So, and he does good with big battle action scenes. So I think that's going to be right up his alley. So yes, it should be a good show tomorrow. There's going to be a little bit of something for everyone to talk about on the panel. Everyone's gonna have something that they want to talk about.
Awesome. Yep. So yes, everyone look forward to watching that on next channel, and Clobber Times you'll be there as well.
Hey.
As always. Yep. And a lot of times that's my date night, my full confession. That's when I hang out with the wife. So sometimes I'm lurking there, but I'd love to be there more often, but I want to have a happy marriage, right? So
yes, I agree.
Yeah. So that's our hangout night. But always enjoy hearing that show when I can. Yep. And Tom, you've got Midnight's Edge in the morning, or what? Tom's on all the time, right? He's gonna do Midnight's. He's gonna do Midnight's Edge. Are you gonna do Mead Radio now? Just kidding. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Tom.
Yep.
Yeah.
But thank you for being here, Tom. Yep. Is Bat Tom still here?
Bat Tom, he's going with sleep.
No, this is my prime time. I'm usually punching Penguin right about now.
Well, you should go up to his nightclub and just knock on the door and say, "Hi, I'd like to speak to the Penguin." What kind of stupid
shit is that? Batman don't knock.
Right?
You are the knight, sir.
I find a way.
Find a way. Yep.
Well, at least someone can, because his name ain't Zack Snyder.
Right?
Yes, sir.
And then Clobber Times, will you be on next tomorrow night? But anything
I
else?
hope so.
And then Saturday Night Star Trek, of course, everyone knows that.
Yeah. And the Saturday Night Star Trek, the Geekery with you, and J-Man Monday, hanging doing some Legion stuff, and then I'm gonna do a big show about John Romita Sr. as well on Monday night.
Very good, very good. Yep. So actually, Saturday night is my birthday, so I think
Nice.
I'll show up at Saturday Night Star Trek. So I'm going to be
You'll probably be busy
29
doing
again.
birthday crap, right?
Yeah, but it's everyone goes to bed early around my house. So after I have my birthday cake, I'm sure I'll pop in for a little bit. But
There you go.
yeah, say hi.
Nice.
But I got to do a old 1989 Batwing. I pulled that out of the basement, so I got to do a review of that. And I went to Five Below today, which is
Oh yeah.
kind of a got a haul from that. So I'll show what maybe I'll do a quick video on that tomorrow or live on what I got from Five Below. But yeah, appreciate everyone being here tonight, and we're all gonna flash away out of here.
All right.
And everyone get a good night's sleep. And I'm not going to shout everyone out in the chat, but thank you again to all the thank you Eric K for the super chat, and thank you for Shooter for becoming a member. But
Yeah.
I'm going to put the overlay up.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
And everyone go read some old good classic comics, right? If you
Thanks for having me.
Thank you, Tom. Thank you so
Thank
much
you for having me.
Yeah, thank you,
Yeah.
everyone. All right, let's
Good night.
get on out of here.
Fun storming the castle.
It's 106 miles to Chicago. We got a full tank of gas, half a pack of cigarettes. It's dark, and we're wearing sunglasses. Hit it.
You're still here? It's over. Go home.